Oh my God, why are you mad about this right now? I was just joking. You're never joking. You know what? It's like I can always tell when you're gonna come after me. Mom, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I thought we were fine. We were good, and now we're not good. Wait, what are you doing? Where are you going? I'm just gonna start packing my stuff up. I'm gonna go home. I'm leaving because this is not okay. Mom, I honestly, I thought we were in a good place. Like, I don't even know what happened. Can you please just stay? No, I'm leaving because you always treat me this way. You are selfish, you are self-centered, and you always make everything about you. I knew I shouldn't have come over here and helped you. God, you're so ungrateful. What is your problem? I'm not coming back for the rest of the month to help you, so you can figure out childcare by yourself. Okay, Mom. Okay. One of the most difficult things to deal with when you have a parent or partner with untreated, borderline, narcissism, emotional immaturity, whatever it is, especially when they are really lacking self-awareness. And I'm wearing my Invisalign, so yes, I know I'm lisping, but I've been not doing a great job of taking care of that, so I'm gonna have to do it, but hope that's not too distracting. So basically what happens is, especially when it is a long-term relationship, if your partner does this, but your parent also did this, you are much more likely to struggle with what is basically shock and awe every time this person loses it. There can be this intense, impulsive aggression that kind of can come out of nowhere for different reasons. Whether it is their mood instability or their, high sensitivity to feeling rejected or abandoned, you can be having a literally great moment. This is really true for untreated borderline individuals, but it can be really true with anyone who has anger or rage, and that's often very common in both BPD and NPD. And I would argue whatever you want to call emotional immaturity, though I often think it really, if you diagnosed it, it would fall probably into those categories more likely. It's like every time it happens, you're like, it's like it happened the first time. I was thinking about this video and for years thinking about how many times I tolerated and justified this behavior in my mom because I was so familiar with it. It was my entire childhood. It could be like, we could have a great time. But if something turned, especially the triggers for her were not sleeping, being tired, and feeling unappreciated and feeling like we were going to somehow leave her, out of nowhere, as I've talked about on Christmas morning blow-ups, just out of nowhere. And of course things were probably brewing and I would be ignoring them. But the point of this video is to tell you that if you say yes, you're right. It's like I'm bewildered every time it happens. I think, oh my God, it happened again. But in some ways you're so used to it. Why? Because you're often living in a trauma bond with this partner or parent for years or for large parts of the relationship. And so when it's so good, it's so great. When it's bad, it's so terrible that you don't even, you're living in this like hurricane that is sometimes a beautiful summer day. And yet the hurricane can show up at the drop of a hat. And so you are shocked every single time. And so what I want to do is share with you how important it is to begin to recognize this as a pattern so that you can begin to armor up, set boundaries, and protect yourself. Because even though you may be used to it, it really does a number on your nervous system. Because basically you have to, with these kind of individuals, you're usually living in fight or flight anyway because you've learned to walk on eggshells because you never know what to expect. And every time it happens and they rage at you or unload on you and you are often blamed, you're often that, the projected source, it's your fault. Whatever's going on with them or they feel that towards you, they hand you all of those things that they feel. Their own self-hatred, their own fear, their own loathing. And they will tell you, you're a bad partner, a bad child, you're lying to me, you're trying to hurt me, you're going to leave me, you're manipulative, whatever it is, they will often not hesitate to hold back. And that does a lot of damage to your emotional well-being. So the first kind of couple things this does is it damages your self-esteem. And over time, we know that emotional neglect, emotional wounding, eggshell parents all the way down, like we absorb as children this emotional damage, and it chips away at who we are. And because, I'm sorry about hair here, kids are inherently egocentric when they're little, everything revolves around us. If you say it's true about me, if I'm selfish because I want an extra cookie over my sister, which is a normal thing to want, and you label that as bad behavior as opposed to like, that's understandable, but here's why we can't do that, you begin to believe that. And so that makes it even harder for you to recognize these patterns, to set boundaries, to speak up for yourself, because often your deep core wound is that you're right. I am a bad child. I am a bad partner. There's something wrong with me. So the first thing is to make a list of all the times this happens, to make yourself sit down in a journal or in a kind of reflective way and think about how many times, and I know it's hard to kind of go back in the trauma, but how often these upheavals happen. See if you can recognize patterns, like inviting them to certain things or saying yes when maybe you should be saying no to protect yourself. Like, start to look at, this is assuming you're going to stay in relationship with someone like this. There's a whole different conversation around should you and what to do. But in many cases, we can't necessarily extricate ourselves, or we're never going to, or we're not there yet. And so what can you do? So you want to armor up, make a list, look for patterns, look at ways to basically set boundaries and to say, okay, maybe when they're in a good place, you can talk to this parent or partner and say, hey, that last time we had this argument, it was really upsetting for me, and I know you were upset, and I want to honor that, but it felt really bad to engage that way. I want to let you know in the future if that happens, I'm going to try to be calm and set a boundary, but if that doesn't work, I'm going to have to leave, and I will come back, but I will not engage in that. If they can't handle that, then you can just decide that, you will say to them, if you continue, I'm going to leave, or hang up this call, or I'm not going to text you back today. I will talk to you later. But you often, if they have borderline especially, you want to give them an anchor to the next conversation, but also honoring your boundaries. And the last thing about all this is that, you want to work on, what I'm saying is armoring up, so you're not so hijacked by it every single time and not so damaged. That when I say armor up, I mean you go into it with your armor on, and you're aware every single time this could happen, which I also know is not relaxing. And trust me, if this is a long pattern, you'll forget you're armored up. But the more that you practice and play it out, that's important. The last thing is that it is important, if you're going to be in this person's life, to practice accepting who they are, and then to decide, like I'm saying, what you will and will not accept. Because the last thing that happens is that we often feel trapped in these relationships, like there's no way out, and we have to always be on that receiving end of those wounds. And it is so inherently and literally damaging for us to do that. But you have to first begin to recognize that it's happening, that it's not something you should be taking, or that's just part of like being in a relationship, that there are things you can do. I know that it's not like they're going to be like, oh, well, great, thanks for the boundary. But oftentimes with practice, it can improve. At the end of the day, this is about building up and shoring up in you your right and entitlement to be protected and to protect yourself. So thank you for being here. It was good to see you. I know I've been gone for a few weeks. I'm trying to figure out how to show up here, and I haven't quite figured out what I want to work on. I'm sort of reaching a point where I've got so many videos on the same topics, and I really want to try to find ways to also challenge my own creativity and engage and be here, because it means so much to me. And I know I haven't been good at responding lately. I've been reading comments, but I've been a little bit overwhelmed just with life and working by myself. I really am running a practice by myself, social media, YouTube, my family. And so please know that if I don't always respond, it's not because I don't want to. I'm trying. It's overwhelming some days, but I truly do appreciate you. Please have a beautiful rest of your day and take good care, and I'll see you soon. Bye.